welcome to our lecture series on Indian ethos in management. This is going to be our fourth part of our lectures on decision making style from Indian perspective, from Indian ethos in management's perspective. So, continuing our discussion on the 9-dimensional analysis, where I told you about the structured situations and unstructured situations where the managers may have to take decision. So, in structured situations I told you that rationality works very well, but in case of unstructured situations, what is needed from a manager is the creativity and intuition. So, if you are good into your intuitive skills and creativity in addition to rationality, then of course you can emerge as a very good manager who deals aptly in unstructured situations. Because in structured situations you have guidelines, you have rational approaches, and you can make a decision. But what about when your rationality is getting bounded, when your rationality is being boundaried by a wall? So, rationality wall need to be broken when the managers are finding a situation which is completely unstructured, which is completely abnormal. So, if the situation is abnormal, how can your decision, your way of taking up that decision be normal? It is just like we dealt with the pandemic of COVID-19. So, the situation was extraordinary, abnormal. So, how can you deal with that ordinary situation with the ordinary decisions or the decisions which you have taken in the past? Because it was never heard of kind of scenario when we all witnessed that life threatening pandemic in front of us, which was basically a threat to the entire humankind. So, we cannot find any other example better than this for unstructured situation. Imagine a manager who is not at all aware of what is going to be the next challenge in front of us. So, unless you know the challenge, how can you identify the decision? How can you identify the possible solution to that? So, here comes your intuitive skills, here comes your creativity with which you deal. So, problem solving at the operational level requires analytical and behavioral approach, whereas tool of 9-dimensional analysis is very much helpful in drafting a vision of your organization, your decision making, your problem solving, and finding solution at all levels. It can be used for finding a solution to the pertinent problems which we come across in a business enterprise. So, 9 important factors can be identified and prioritized in terms of 3 sets of 3 factors each. You can find those 3 sets in terms of 3 triangles, and according to your type of organization you can identify the factors, and this leads to better solution finding of the issue or decisions, as the decision maker can focus on the most significant factors represented by 3 different triangles. So, these triangles basically indicates that how to find a solution to a given situation, and in all situations you have to make a decision, whether it is conceptual and analytical, or it is conceptual decision making style, or it is analytical and analytical and behavioral style of decision. You have to decide. So, depending upon the situation you can have a decision. So, this basically this 9-dimensional analysis can be conducted. These dimensions can be less in number also, but you can call it a multi-dimensional analysis as well, whereas you take into consideration all the aspects of a particular situation. Now, when we come to decision styles approaches to the problem solving, there are 3 important perspectives which comes in front of us. One is division, second is division, and third one is direct vision approaches. So, this decision style and approaches to problem solving, when we use this word division, either we divide, or you have division, or you are having direct vision approach. So, the same word division is being looked at from 3 different perspectives. You either take division, or you take division, and you or you take direct vision approaches. I would be telling you briefly about the differences between the 3, that among 3 what is the difference. So, we define this is called as 3 quantum states of mind, or before I tell you about the 3 quantum states of mind, we need to understand that we are going to have a discussion on the quantum states of mind. So, here are 3 different quantum states of mind in terms of division, and direct vision states. When I say division state, In a division state, it is the most easiest classification of quantum states of mind. When we say division state, mind operates in terms of divided vision, and problems are solved by dividing them into sub problems. Suppose I am having a set of problem, I try to find the sub problems, I try to segregate the different problems which are combined and is coming in front of me in terms of a big problem. So, all those problems are subdivided, and then we try to find a solution to them. This is called the division state in terms of quantum states of mind, where the mind works like dividing problems into sub problems. Whereas, when we talk about division approach, this division approach always represents scientific mindset and a left brain oriented approach to solve a particular problem and seek solution to that. So, this division approach is basically looking at the scientific approach, but when mind operates at the division state, the second one, it looks at the issue and finds problems in a holistic manner, like viewing the horizon in front of us. So, I am having a D vision. When we look at the rainbow, if you after the rain, at times we witness rainbow, it has a D shape. You find there a D shape in your rainbow, and we actually view it in a holistic manner to admire its beauty. So, rainbow is having a scenic beauty because you are looking at it from a holistic perspective, you are looking at it as a whole. So, this rainbow is giving us an idea of this D shape, and D is representing the rainbow, or giving a holistic idea. So, when I say D vision, it means I am looking at a holistic perspective of a particular situation. To exemplify it, I gave you an example of rainbow, where it has a D shape and we view it in a holistic manner to admire its beauty. This approach is approach to looking at reality around us represents the D vision approach, that your vision is holistic, your vision of looking at a situation is holistic in nature, you are looking at it as a whole. The third quantum state of mind is direct vision state. When we say direct vision, so in this state mind operates as at direct perception level, that whatever I can see, whatever I can witness, accordingly I am going to make a decision. That is why we call it darshan, whatever is visible to me. This is another classification of quantum states of mind. So, either it is dividing the problems into sub problems, or it is division, that is you are having a look at the holistic, you are looking at the situation from the holistic perspective, or third one is direct perception, which is known as the darshan level. So, problems are solved through darshan approach here, that once you witness, once you see, once they emerge, you try to find a solution to them. That is called direct vision approach. Now, these three quantum states of mind, they offer us three different approaches to decision making: problem solving and looking at reality around us. We are finding three different approaches, not only to solve a problem, but to make a decision, and also to have a look at reality around us in a business enterprise, or in any other situation. They also represent three caps of mind, that your mind is, suppose if we find three different caps on mind, we can classify them like that, that these three approaches, they represent three caps of mind, and these approaches also are also reflected in language we use to define the reality around us. The kind of words we are selecting while explaining the reality around us, that also gives a reflection of our approach, that whether we believe into divide and rule, whether we believe into the division approach, division approach, or direct vision approach. So, accordingly we take a decision, and the same is reflected in our thoughts and actions. When mind operates at the division state, it looks at the issue and problems in a holistic manner, like viewing the horizon in front of us. Now, there are certain illustrations to indicate these three approaches. Unless we exemplify, you will not be in a situation to visualize them, that yes, this can also be an approach to look at a decision style, to look at this approaches to perspective building and problem solving rooted in three quantum states of mind. So, these three quantum states of mind, they actually define and decide the kind of decision we are taking. So division mindset, let me start with that. Division mindset views human existence in terms of conflict with nature. It divides that. It actually draws a line of separation of human being with that of nature. That there is conflict with nature which we are witnessing, and this division mindset views it in terms of harmony with nature, and direct vision mindset listens to the symphony of nature. Imagine, the nature is the same, and as a human being we are the same. It is our quantum state of mind which is going to make the entire discourse, the entire situation different. When I follow division approach, I find myself separate from that of nature. When we are using when the sun becomes scorchy, when we are witnessing the brutal summer, in that at that point of time we start using air conditioners, and we believe that we feel that nature is entirely opposite to us, nature is against us. So we are somehow trying to find a solution to that. So there is a conflict of human being with that of nature, and that is called division approach. The division approach mindset views it in terms of harmony with nature, that you are having a cordial relationship with the nature. Whereas if we look at direct vision mindset, it actually is able to listen to the symphony of nature, that yes, nature is very kind to us and nature is teaching us various lessons, and we have to realize how to make use of that. So division mindset led to the phrase conquest of Everest. When we use division, suppose somebody is going to reach to the Everest, there is a conquest of Everest. In contrast, for people with division mindset, reaching the Everest is essentially quest for Everest, and for people with direct vision approach, it is essentially merging with the Everest. Imagine, all three people who are having three different caps of intellectual state, their mental state, they are basically using the different mindset for the same situation. All three have reached to the Mount Everest, but one is feeling that I have conquered the Everest, I won, and I am the winner. In contrast to the people with division mindset, they are reaching the Everest and it is essentially quest for the Everest, it is quest for that. And for people with direct vision approach, it is essentially they are merging with the Everest. They feel that we both are together, we both are the same. So imagine that your mindset is going to make the entire this quantum state of mind is going to define the way we feel, we actually witness to a particular situation. Moving on to another example. In feminism, there is a very interesting example from feminism. Division approach leads to man versus woman perspective, wherein clash and conflicts are highlighted. So some people say that there is a long ongoing conflict between the man and woman, and this clash and conflict is being highlighted because they are using division approach. They divide the humanity on the basis of gender. Whereas division approach views the issues in terms of man-woman complementarity, that they are complementary to each other. They are not opposed to each other. So the very nature is of complementarity. And direct vision approach leads to yin-yang integration. So imagine the same situation can become different with the way we are actually looking at it, whether it is of conflicting nature or it is of complementarity in nature, or it is going to provide us an integration. So this is actually basically it is a difference of approach with which we are looking at it. Moving on to another example of political discourse. A group of experts believe that division approach leads us to Videshi versus Swadeshi political discourses. That is your domestically produced or homemade products versus imported products, which is known as Videshi versus Swadeshi political discourse. That we are drawing a line of division between the two products based on their place of manufacturing, the place of origin. Division approach, it is again, which I told you at the very outset, it is following a holistic view. It suggests Videshi Swadeshi complementarity, that they are complementary to each other because we believe into the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, And the direct vision approach leads us to Vishwa vision, that is Videshi versus Swadeshi, combination of both. They believe that we need to integrate both of them to find a solution. If I can find a product which is good and is being manufactured in some other part of the world, what is the point of saying no to it? We should accept it. We actually inherit this culture from the Ano Bhadra Krituvo Yantu Vishwata, wherein we believe that let noble ideas or thought comes to us from all dimensions. So there is no geographical boundary to that. So political discourses can also be classified, can also be witnessed from the three different approaches, wherein either you follow division approach or division approach or the direct vision approach. So in this vision, there is integration of the political discourse of Videshi and Swadeshi through the Vishwa matrix, wherein Videshi, a combination of Videshi and Swadeshi, that is imported and the domestically grown products, they find their markets in varying configurations. So these products are being considered and markets find their varying configurations, and there is a two-way interaction between the two. So both way they are interacting, and division mindset leads to democracy without responsibility. Another example from political discourse, division mindset leads to democracy without responsibility. In this approach, democracy is merely an election process. We believe that it is confined to the process of elections. You have casted your vote and the government is being formed. So there is no responsibility of mine. Wherein if you look at division approach, it suggests the idea of democracy with responsibility, that you have a responsibility, so you should cast your vote responsibly. But if we look at the direct vision approach, it suggests the idea of democracy with responsibility and dignity, that you are not only having responsibility, but it is also your dignity. You are working for your nation. You are while casting your vote, you should always think of your nation first, that whatever I am doing, it should be for my country first. It should be for the benefit of my country, my nation as a whole. And this represents the true essence of democracy in terms of harmonic democracy. So in political discourses also you can find, unless we go through these examples, we cannot understand those three intellectual mindsets which we are having. There is a situation from clash to confluence. Division mindset leads us to clash of civilizations. This worldview of Huntington is essentially rooted in this division mindset, that you are having a clash of civilizations. So when you read in the history, some historians write about the clash of civilizations, it means they are drafting that history with the mindset which is of division mindset. That is why they are drawing a line between the different cultures. They have never witnessed the beauty of multiculturalism or multiple cultures in a situation. In contrast to this, if you look at division mindset, it suggests the dialogue of civilizations, that there is a dialogue, there is an interaction across civilizations. And above that, if you look at direct vision approach, it leads us to confluence of civilizations. So imagine it is only your mindset which is transforming clash to confluence. So you were earlier witnessing that as your competitor, as your enemy, because of the different culture. Now you are finding a confluence of those civilizations. So the worldview changes from clash to coexistence to confluence in consonance with three quantum states of mind. So it is your quantum state of mind which is going to transform a situation of clash to that of confluence. So imagine the situation remains the same, but it is only your quantum state of mind which is going to put in front of us an entirely different approach. So while decision making, we have to understand that whether we follow division approach to a situation or we follow division approach, that is holistic one, or we have that direct vision approach. So it is a change of perspective also. In division approach, human being is considered merely a factor of production, that in an entire production process, you are basically working as a factor of production. You are a resource, you are contributing, you are giving your contribution to the production process, and the production is done. In division approach, the human resource, that is he or she, is a co-creator or at times we call them co-venturist. They are co-ventures. But if you look at direct vision approach, he or she is a being who is also considered by some as divine being, that there is a presence of divine being. So this quantum state of mind is going to change the perspective. You take any component, you take any situation, you would find drastic difference among these three approaches. If you look at division approach, you are considering human resource to be merely a factor of production, but in division approach you are actually working as a co-creator. You actually own that business. Whereas in direct vision you are basically regarded as divine being, which means you are being regarded, you are finding your dignity into the entire decision making process, into the entire value chain. Another example, in division approach, labor and capitals, they are in perpetual conflict. That labor and capitalists will always look at profit and would never make payment to the workers. This is called division approach. You find a line of difference which are at times regarded as haves and have nots. So if you adopt that division approach, you always find labor and capital to be at daggers drawn. Whereas in division approach there is a search for complementarity, and in direct vision approach you go a step ahead. There is a situation of harmony which is called as harmonization. So your perspective is something which is going to define your quantum state of mind is going to change the entire situation, is going to change the entire discourse, is going to change the entire context with which you are fighting. So earlier you were fighting, you are having a clash, now you talk about confluence. So trusteeship model of organizations, we all know that India being a land of Mahatma Gandhi talks about trusteeship model. So trusteeship model of organizations, they emerge from the second and third approaches. That is either division or it is direct vision, it is never division, and it aims at transforming lines of conflict. At times we talk about LOC, line of control. It is never line of control if we follow the remaining two, the subsequent two quantum states of mind, that is division and direct vision approach. Here we aim at transforming lines of conflict. LOC is finding a new definition. It is not line of control, it is transforming line of conflict. It is line of confidence, it is line of connectivity. So imagine the moment you replace this word control, what you find? You find line of confidence, you find line of connectivity. So control and conflict can be replaced with this line of confidence and connectivity. So what is wrong if you bring confidence and connectivity for your line? So the line of conflict is supposed to find a replacement with that of line of confidence and lines of connectivity. So line of confidence is more beneficial, line of connectivity is more beneficial, or line of conflict and control? Of course the first one, that is confidence and connectivity. So in the field of management, when we look at the motivational theories, let me give you some examples from the theories of motivation. In the field of management, division approach leads to the theory X style of management, which talks about giving punishment, which talks about dand, which talks about punishment. That it is called theory X style of management, that you should follow carrot and stick. If a person is working, give him carrot or her carrot, and if person is not working, punishment need to be served. So they talk about there is a provision of dand or punishment, and this is called division approach. You are dividing people on the basis of the carrot and stick, you are dividing people on the basis of on your approach towards giving punishment to them. Whereas division approach leads to dignity styles of management, which comes from theory Y and Z. So imagine we are drawing a line of comparison between the existing theories of management with that of quantum states of mind. So when you look at while drafting this theory X, we can say that Douglas MacGregor must have thought of this division approach. But when he talked about division approach, MacGregor must have drafted theory Y under the influence of, under the quantum state of his mind in terms of division approach. And Urvik Regnecker and William Auchi must have authored this theory Z when they might be having this D vision approach. That is a holistic approach towards the looking at the organization. And when we talk about direct vision approach, it leads to divinity, spirituality at workplace style of management. So imagine that we are traveling, our quantum state of mind travels from divide and rule to D vision and direct vision approach. Although direct vision approach is basically an ideal situation which every organization aspires to reach at. But at least if they are not able to reach instantly at direct vision approach, at least D vision approach can offer them a fair view or fair idea of looking at the entire business organization from the holistic perspective. So we can say that the dand, dignity and divinity, that is punishment, dignity and divinity styles of management, they are rooted in three different mindsets, or what you call as mind caps, three different caps of our mind. So the quantum states of mind, they are actually giving us as an outcome, either it is punishment based or it is dignity based or divinity style of management. So whether your style is based on punishment, that is called dand, or it is based on dignity and divinity, it is you who has to decide whether you want your organization to be known for giving punishment to people, or you want your organization to be known for letting people work with dignity and divinity in terms of their working. It is you who has to decide as a leader. So the three approaches also lead us to three ways of use of power, that is either you divide and rule, or you go for dharma and its rule, or you go for divine rule. So whether you follow divide and rule, which Britishers followed here in our country to rule over us, or you wish to follow dharma and its rule, or you want the divine rule, it is up to you as a leader to decide. So in first approach, people are disempowered, while in second and third approaches, power is used to give to provide empowerment to others. So you just try to give some power to your subordinates, and you would feel the change, the way they would respond to a situation. So in division approach, there is dichotomy and distance between the subject and object, and in division approach, this distance reduces, whereas in direct vision approach, there is subject object fusion, that is dancer becomes the dance. Imagine the dancer becomes the dance, it means you are finding an integration between the subject and object. That is the ideal situation. So the division approach is essentially you can say Newtonian in nature, which talks about the survival of the best. Division approach is closer to quantum physics, and direct vision approach is closer to spirituality and sacro spiritual view of reality. And it is observed that science has yet to evolve to this quantum state of mind. So it may be indicated here that in division state, mind operates at the reason, that is analytical level. In division state, it operates at intuitive level, and direct vision state, it operates at integrative level. So three quantum states also represent the scientist, artist and rishi mindsets, and accordingly your behavior would be reflected into your leadership styles, into the way you deal with the particular situation. So we have to conclude with this, that it may be indicated that there is also a fourth quantum state of mind that can be referred to as Dean vision state of mind, wherein mind is at the direct enlightenment, awakening and nirvana level. So Dean is basically an acronym to indicate direct enlightenment, awakening and nirvana level, and at this level an individual has a very high rishi, that is re-see competence, that is his ability to re-see the events, threats and opportunities in new ways is very high. So such individuals, they also display charismatic creativity as a result of enlightenment and awakening. So what we need, my dear learners, here is at the strategic level, corporate dean is required to provide strategic leadership to the organization. This is the acknowledgement to this entire discussion on the decision making. With this, I am concluding my lecture. I hope you must have enjoyed this very lecture of mine. Thank you so much.